So there's a ton of insane stuff currently happening to CCIV's stock, actually being up again after a pullback that lasted over an entire month. In fact, we are sitting on an almost 10% gain again today, bouncing off from the resistance at about $22.20. So what we are going to do today is give you an updated insight into what is happening to CCIV's stock and break down exactly whether it is still a buy at the end. And as the analysis in the video is absolutely crucial to consider before buying the stock, make sure to stay tuned. But before we jump right in, just hit that subscribe button down below. And as we'll keep you updated on breaking news and awesome trading opportunities every single day, subscribing would not only help us but also you. So there is really no excuse for not smashing the subscribe button. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe if you feel so. Alright, so in order to figure out whether CCIV is a stock to buy at the end of this video, we quickly have to take a look at what's actually going on again. And in the case of Churchill Capital, the massive attraction to investors is the SPAC. The company is bringing Lucid Motors, a pretty popular EV company, public with. But despite some massive hype from retail traders, we've seen some major pullbacks recently, dropping more than 22% from the highs at the end of June. In one of the recent videos, however, we talked about the pretty strong upwards channel you can still see on the chart and the stock possibly bouncing back when it reaches the lower end. And that's exactly what happened now, being right at this area of support, while making some new gains also very likely again. But this is also where the initial reasons for the spikes in January become extremely important again, with most of them being able to get traced back to the hope that Lucid can actually compete in the super competitive EV space. And considering giants like Tesla pulling astonishing numbers, as well as all the legacy car producers also switching and investing heavily into electric vehicles, some concerns can definitely be justified at first. What Lucid Motors, however, does that almost none of the other new EV companies are trying is to focus on a completely different opportunity than most of the big players in the space, the luxury business. So with cars like the Lucid Air Dream Edition having a starting price of $169,000, the company is able to target a fully different group of customers than, let's say, Tesla, also competing in a niche where almost no other company is currently in. What is crucial to consider for our prediction at the end, however, is that the leaders in the EV space are still far ahead of Lucid Motors. In fact, there's actually no car that has been officially delivered to a customer, with the only thing investors can rely on right now being the promises of its management. But those are looking extremely good, as the first vehicles are expected to be delivered in just a few months. And if the company is really able to hold true to those promises, some massive spikes in the stock's price are almost certain if there are no other negative news. Another super important thing to consider, however, is the incredible hype amongst investors, especially retail traders. And as we've seen it a ton in January, the potential of such stocks is enormous. So here is what to expect next. Over the next 5 years, Lucid predicts massive growth in production, including the introduction of an SUV in 2023, while anticipating to sell about 48,000 vehicles in 2023. And with its own forecasts for the next 5 years in mind, it just makes a ton of sense that investors are so excited about Lucid's prospects. Nevertheless, and we've talked about this on the channel before, there is a lot of competition as well as legacy automakers that are shifting gears and committing to more EV-heavy product lineups. In addition, there are always things that can go wrong, maybe resulting in the company failing to meet its growth projections. So to sum it all up, Lucid Motors definitely has immense potential. And although we initially recommended waiting for the first actual cars to be delivered and the following either negative or positive news before buying or adding more stocks, new gains are actually very likely now, as the technical setup is perfect. If retail traders, however, continue to hype the stock up as well, some short-term growth is extremely likely. Alright, with that being it for today's video, thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video and want to support our mission of providing free financial information to everyone here on YouTube, please ensure you're subscribed and definitely consider leaving a like. As mentioned before, it really means the world to us. Thanks a lot, and see you next time.